Welcome to the Andor recap. On the industrial planet Morlana 1, Cassian Andor goes by a cantina to follow a trail and look for his missing sister. The hostess tells him about a woman of Kenari descent who worked for them in the past, revealing Andor's history. At a young age, living on Kenari, a Republic freighter crash landed on their planet. Unaware and isolated from the galaxy, they investigated the site. Once shooting begun, they killed the Republic officers. Young Cass entered and begun breaking the ship in defiance, but he crossed paths with Marva, Clem, and Bimo, scavengers that were looking for valuables at the crash site. Knowing that the Empire would massacre the kids for murdering the officers, they quickly kidnapped young Cass to save his life, giving him the last name Andor, and creating the lie that he was born on Fest, as Kenari was named an abandoned planet not long after. Back on Morlana 1, Andor leaves the cantina and is stopped by drunk guards from the Morlana division. When they begin to rob him, he springs into action, stealing the blaster and executing both of them. He quickly flies back to Ferrix, where he lives with Bimo and Marva. Clem was falsely accused of starting a riot against the Empire and hung for it, one of the many reasons he hates the Empire. Knowing that the Empire would come down hard on him for this, he quickly contacts Bix, a mechanic and a black market dealer. She contacts the buyer because Andor has a black market star pass to sell. Not knowing about Bix's black market dealings, jealous boyfriend Tim reports Andor to the authorities. The buyer, Luthen Rao, arrives on Ferrix. Deputy Inspector Cyril Khan debriefs the team on Cassian Andor, and they descend to try and capture Andor. He meets with Luthen to try and make the deal as they are overwhelmed by troops outside, creating a diversion to escape, leaving the star path behind. Luthen recruits Andor to a mission beyond the realm of his world, one that would severely impact the Empire. Knowing about his past, about Clem, and his hatred for the Empire, Andor agrees as he will also be paid for this escapade. This failed mission for Pre-Morlana resulted in Bix being severely injured and Tim's death. Beyond that, once the Empire takes over, Cyril Khan is fired, left to return to his mother's unwarming welcome because he ignored her once he got the inspector job. Edie calls in the family favor from his uncle Harlow to land him an office job in the Imperial Bureau of Standards. With his new identity as Clem, he meets with rebel team leader Vel Satha. He is introduced to the rest of the team: Skeen, Terramin, Cinta, Nemik, and Lieutenant Gorn, their man on the inside. Their plan takes place during the Eye of Aldhani. After impersonating Imperial Army troops, they will take Commander Bihaz and his family hostage, using his influence to open the vault and steal the Imperial payroll. During the ordeal, Bihaz suffers a heart attack, Gorn is killed, Terramin is shot. During their escape, Nemik is crushed as they voyage out of Aldhani. They land on Fresno and try to save Nemik. While waiting for Nemik's procedure, Skeen gets the idea to betray the team and split the cargo. Appalled by this, Andor kills Skeen, and to add on to this, Nemik doesn't make it. Andor leaves with his piece of the pie, returning to Ferrix. We're now heavily guarded and watched since the ISB took over. Mira started combing over Ferrix. They found Starpath and linked the buyer and Cassian Andor to a bigger scheme of rebellion all over the sector, including that of the payroll heist, believing that the buyer, now named Axis, is a high-ranking figure in the underground rebellion against the Empire. In Ferrix, Andor slips around, repaying Bix and all their friends. He also tells Marva of his success, and they can leave together now. Come morning, she declines. The payroll heist ignited her will to rebel against the Empire, something she regretted not doing and that haunted her ever since Clem's death. Andor leaves alone. Now on Nymos and named Keith Gergo, he is caught at the wrong place at the wrong time and accused of participating in anti-imperial activity, sentenced to 6 years. Incarcerated on Narkina 5, he has 12-hour shifts of work followed by sleep. This cycle is repeated until they finish their sentence, facilitated by floor manager Kino Loy, who shuts down any idea of rebellion until they find out that they were never going to leave. The prison fried an entire floor of people fearing they were going to rebel. They unite the entire floor as guards bring down a new member. They lead a successful uprising, killing the guards on every level and liberating the entire compound, freeing all the prisoners as they jump to their freedom. On land, Andor contacts home. Learning of Marva's passing, him and ex-prisoner Meshi decide to part ways so they can spread the message of what happened in Narkina 5. Hating his office job and infatuated with trying to catch Andor, Cyril blames Andor for what happened, and when he is brought in to inform Miro of his report and crucial details of the failed mission, his obsession for Andor and that admiration for Miro grows. As the ISB begin cracking down on Andor, interrogating the foes linked to him and Axis, using Dr. Gerst, they render Park, another underground dealer, lifeless. Bix becomes their next target. Using a gadget to slowly psychologically break down Bix, the ISB retrieve a pilot for the notorious rebel leader Anto Krieger, and with the help of Dr. Gerst, they learn that Krieger is planning an attack on Spellhouse. Mole and ISB supervisor Lonnie informs Luthen of this information. He doesn't intervene, telling Saul Guerrero, another rebellion leader, about this. They decide not to intervene, to not expose the Mole and costing the lives of dozens. Luthen lives a double life, a rebellion leader and that of a wealthy antiques dealer. A high-profile investor in the rebellion is Senator Mon Mothma. Unbeknownst to her family, she is in trouble. Before she could pull credits from her inheritance to fund the resistance, but now she is being heavily watched. From her speeches to her driver, she has to master scent and brings in childhood friend Tay Kolmar, a banker on Chandrilla, to help cover up 400,000 missing credits. Unable to facilitate this, Kolmar brings in Davo Skolden, a shady wealthy banksman. Skolden's deal is that she introduces her daughter to Stekken, his son. With no options and even consoling with cousin Vel, she is forced to oblige. On Ferrix, the ISB, Luthen's group, and Cyril Khan eagerly await Cassian Andor's arrival for Marva's funeral. The ISB want to take him in for questioning on who Axis is. Luthen wants to kill Andor because he already knows too much. Andor sneaks through the sewers with Pegler and hides in the watchtower during the ceremony. Close friend Brazo is given the honor of placing the stone in Marva's funeral. Bimo displays Marva's last speech, a grueling speech that rallies the people of Ferrix to rebel against the Empire and fight back for what is theirs. As a riot breaks off, they begin fighting the stormtroopers, and secretly, Salmon Pack's son, Wilman, ignites an explosive and throws it into the Imperial barrier, detonating a stockpile of explosives, escalating the riot into a massacre as stormtroopers begin firing into the crowd. Andor uses this distraction to sneak into the Imperial Hotel, where they are holding Bix, and safely escape with her to Zorby's shiplock, where Bimo, Brazo, Pegler, and Wilman are waiting to depart and flee from the Empire, now that they have all joined the rebellion. During this extravaganza, Miro is caught in the crowd, almost knocked out, and held at gunpoint, but luckily it is Cyril Khan. He manages to save her. Andor, however, doesn't join this group. He promises to reunite with them as he departs. Spotting Luthen on Ferrix, he knows that they are there to kill him. He catches back up with him at his ship. This is where the series ends. Make sure to subscribe, and if you like the videos I make and want to support the channel, consider joining the memberships, and for more, watch this.